Hello. Here we go. Popping on here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watch the replay. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mary June Tracy. I come to you with some astrology, a little bit of spiritual talk, bringing in some 411 of the shenanigans of the planets, and and having a little bit of chit chat with you. So come on in, join me. And let's take a look at what is happening today. Whew. Yeah, it's another day. Good morning, Char. Good morning, everybody. It is another crazy, crazy day in paradise. Yes, it is. As we have the three-quarter square moon that's happening. And the sun's, we're in Pisces season. The 18th, yesterday, the moon or the sun went into Pisces. So we are in Pisces. And it's a little bit, you know, of course, it's Pisces. It's a little bit more watery. It's a little bit more flowing. We have a lot of water energy right now, with Mars finally slowing, like really slowing down and in Cancer. And it's causing sort of it's almost like, have you ever seen those shows or watched a ship turning around? So it's kind of like, and then this big wave, and it's doing its big turnaround, and that's what Mars is going to be starting to do starting on Sunday. So we have this turnaround of energy that's coming in, and it's a transformation one. This is like totally transformational energy that's coming in, that's really having us go forward and look at the heart center, look at ourselves. This is a very intimate energy that's coming in, that is getting us to look at the things that we're hanging on to. I mentioned before that it is a shamanic year, that we are in a year of transformation, we are in a year of change, we are in a year of letting go of what no longer aligns with us, right? And this is where the transformation is coming in. And doing that, it's emotional, right? So a lot of emotion comes into this. And that Pluto in Aquarius is like, they're emotional, but they're not emotional the same as a water sign. Like water sign, you feel it, you're feeling all of the things. It's with the Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto rules Scorpio. So it's trying to get to the depths of what these emotions are when you're trying to analyze everything analytically, like trying to put into, well, it's got to be this and this and this. These are the symptoms. This is what it is. This is what's going on. Well, then it has to be this. So they're wanting to make this very logical, right? There's got to be a reason. There can't be anything else. So we're in a time where they want to make things very analytical. Well, this is the reason why we do it. Justification. We're having this other and energies that are coming in, with Neptune coming at the very end of Pisces, and we have Mercury in Pisces. We have with lovely little Saturn there. This is like, no, we want to make some changes. Yeah, we want to bring in the logical, but we also want to bring in the spiritual, the peace that comes in, that gets us to look like, there's a higher reason, there's a higher energy that is opening up here for us. It's not just cut and dry, there's more to it. And this is where we can come into the doubting, right? The doubting of ourselves, the doubting of what it is, because we can get too much in our head and then to attach to how that outcome is or that feeling is, because that's the way it's been done all the time. That's the way we've been doing. And we're coming into these huge changes, these huge confrontations, not only within ourselves spiritually, but within the world around us. And this is a a time where we have to really watch our tempers. Tempers are going to fly. People are going to get angry. People are going to be like, ugh. And that's also to do with a lot that's coming up in their own life that they have to deal with. A lot of things that are not maybe working the way that they think it should work. This is the way, this logically, I've done everything, and this is the way it's supposed to be logically. But spiritually, it's like, no, we're going over here and we're going to go do a whole 180 over to the other side. And it's like, I don't want to go there because I haven't been there. I haven't done that. I have to. You mean I have to trust you? I have to trust in this wisdom that's coming forth. I have to allow myself to look at this pathway and finding this inner path, and this is going to lead me more to my soul purpose, lead me more to, and when I say soul purpose, a lot of times people get like, oh, well, then I got to become religious, or I have to become, highly spiritual, and you know the next Louise Hayes or Carolyn Mize, or I have to become that person who goes to mass every Sunday. No, that's not the soul purpose. The soul purpose is coming into an alignment of your truth, coming into that alignment of who you really are and what really makes you jive, right? And that's where a lot of emotion comes in. And we're so attached to we're so attached to how things are supposed to look like. Being raised in a Western culture, you're supposed to, the idea is get married, have children, buy a house. But all of that's changing, It started to change when Pluto was in Libra. And that was in the early 80s. And things really started to change then. And people were starting to look at, oh, okay, I don't have to be married. I don't have to be with that one person for the rest of my life. I can love somebody else. I can make a life with somebody else. Or I don't have to make a life with anybody at all. Or you find out, oh my God, I'm gay, or whatever it is, right? This is where, that Pluto Libra had to do with relationships and looking at the types of relationships on all levels. Relationships. And that's really when a relationship also came in with corporations. And the idea of what corporations were, and the ideology of the corporations being making them be like a human person with feelings, right? And as we went through, we had that Pluto with Scorpio, the millennials coming in, where looking at the world and having to get to the depths of what the world is all about, and get to the root of everything and try and find something. And the Pluto and Sagittarius were like, well, what the fuck? I don't really care. It's like, whatever, this is bullshit. Oh, we're woke, we're this. So a whole nother era came in with Sag. It's the fire, it was mutable, it was all over the place. It's like, yeah. And then we had Capricorn, boom, structure. What is our structure? What is happening? What's our government? What are corporations? What are institutions? And we saw from 2008 to just recently, and even now we're witnessing the crumbling of it, how the belief system of the corporations and of the foundations of them are like, no, why are they in charge? Like, what's that power there? And here we're coming into this Pluto and Aquarius, which is really, it is also, the build of communities that we've built, of the structures that we built, and that the ones that are working may not be working anymore. This is a humanitarian. This is where finding out about secret societies. This is technology. This is wisdom that comes in a very abstract new way. And we're just at the beginning of this. We're just at the beginning of finding all of this. We're discovering all of the all of these new things that are coming in. And when it comes to connection and what is humanity, what is the humanitarian, what are they, what do they do, and is it true? Like, I mean, I just was watching um all of these charities, right? And these charities, there's the Catholic charity, there's a Jewish one, there was United Church. Um, what other one was there? There's a couple other ones that were there, and they were the ones that were supposedly at the border to do all of these things for new immigrants that were coming in, and to help them, to resettle them. And they were getting millions and millions and millions of dollars from the government, then still asking other people to donate to them, right? So they were getting a lot of money. And as they were being exposed, it was showing that these humanitarians, the ones that were at the top, were making like $500,000. These administrative people, 500,000, some of them 60,000. This is in US dollars. And then all of a sudden change comes in and they're not getting that money. They're not, the changing, with the Trump coming in and tightening up on the border, then all of a sudden there's these restrictions. They're not getting people coming in. Plus, they're also finding a lot of underhanded things that were going on there. And it wasn't just them that were in charge. A whole, unloathing. And that's the whole thing, is like, we're discovering all of these things. Yeah, we want to be charitable. We want to have these feelings. We want to do this. But what Pluto does, it gets you to the root. I was watching another program about charities here in Calgary and how many charities Calgary has. And it was like, I know, like 300 different charities for Calgary. And one was what was it? It was a parent group for a school, was a charity that was getting like $30,000 a year and they were part of a school. And I'm like, okay, they're getting $30,000 from the city. Then they can file, they're getting money from the federal government, and then whatever donations or whatever they raise. So as a parent group of a school, of a public school, they're making some really good money. And an investigation is going on. It's like people are finding, like, well, what are you doing with all the money? Where's the new playground? Where's where's all these things you said you're going to do, right? So there's all of these different charities, and there's some really good ones. I mean, I do. I've worked with the Mustard Seed before here in Calgary, and they do some really fabulous work. So you have institutions like that that work with the homeless, that work with drug addictions, that work with people who are wanting to make a better way in their life, right? Trying to give them the skills to get off the street in order to live, right? And then you have other charities, and some of them were just so abstract, so weird. And then that's where, people are like looking at that, and this is all with this energy coming in. People are like, my money's going where? My taxes are going there. And okay. And I can't afford groceries, or I can't afford to put my gas in my car right now, or whatever it is, right? And this is, where people are starting to say, hey, we have to take another look at things. But then people don't want to do that because they're connected to, well, this is the way it's always been. This is what we've always done. And we're coming in, we're saying, well, it's got to change. We got to redirect this. We got to allow for things to be more balanced. And when you do come in and you are making those changes, you are trying to change, and even for yourself, you may be called a heretic. You may be called, different names, because the energy is promoting you to be the one who is the heretic, the one who is pushing for something that nobody wants to let go of, right? And the frustration builds up. But this is where we're finding, to better ourselves and your own spiritual self, it's like we have to look at what we have to clean up for our own self. Where's that intensity within our own selves that we have to clean up and come to a place and look at the imbalances that are within our own lives, right? And coming into a personal place within our own selves and clearing out old patterns and looking at those old patterns that need to be cleared out. And there you're going to be faced with them. And this is where it's like, wow, okay, this is what I got to do. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that I'm going to, you know, like rah rah. I'm gonna. Oh, this is what I have to do to clean up myself. It's going to be hard work. I remember my one friend's child going through rehab, right? It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And you don't necessarily see everything that's going on inside that person of the changes that need to happen and the struggle that needs to that is going on and um the mental faculties that happen because it is a rewiring, it is a new way of looking at it. And sometimes when you're doing that, it's like, well, why am I becoming more conscious or more aware of the world around me? Because it's more work. It feels like it's more work with it all. And this is where the frustration can come in, because then you'll like want to shut down, or you want to go back and um not do it. But in essence, the reality, the truth of it is that it does open you up to understanding your soul purpose. And your soul purpose would be just loving your neighbor, having more peace in your life, being happier, being the person that's not, you see what's happening, but you don't have to put an attachment to it, right? You can come in it with a neutrality and be able to look at both sides without falling for one or for the other, to be able to say, hey, yeah, that's some good ideas. Let's see the follow-up. Let's do a bigger depth, dive into what it is that you are wanting to do, not just looking at the highlights of things, right? Because that could just get you off into like, oh, I just read the highlights, but I didn't get into the meat and potatoes. And that's the spiritual bypassing. So we're coming into today of looking at better ways of doing things in our lives and how we can adjust and reclaim different parts of ourselves that we might have let go of, and that we um, need to find a new direction. And that's where the ship is turning. That's where things are getting a little bit chaotic within ourselves. So, one, don't jump to conclusions about things, really, because it's just going to cause more havoc for you. And it's the programming in this world is very strong. So the programming is really strong, and how it wants to keep you controlled in many ways is there. So so starting March 2nd is the 21-day divine wisdom journey. And sunshine and lollipops, hello. um if you want to join me for the 21-day journey of the divine will, definitely let me know. It starts on March 2nd. I'll be you'll be getting an audio of different prayers and mantras that we're going to do each day. We're also there'll be some videos. I will be doing a labyrinth walk here in Calgary, and taking you on a labyrinth walk, uh, looking at different sort of sacred sites that are in and around my area, and taking you along for the ride, right? So I got your dream journal from 9 years ago. Oh, awesome. There we go. Yeah, these are big cards. So we're going to pull out some cards to see what's happening in the world, in our life. This card wants to come out. The Knight of Fire. So the Knight of Fire is coming in. So the Knight of Fire, very passionate. There's a lot of passion when it comes in. Like, we have a lot of passion. This is what we want to do. We have this passion and we want to make it happen. We want it to happen now, because the knight is like, he's on a quest. He's going out and he wants to make it happen. And it's this fiery energy, but there's something there that's sort of like saying, nah, because in comes the dreamer. So there's a new journey to be taken. A new journey that we are going on, a new quest that is happening. And on this new quest, it's like things that we need to look at, things that we need to do. But it's not all being shown there because it's a new quest. There's new things that we're going to be doing. So this is opening us up to the newness. And sometimes in opening it up, things are going to be out of balance. Things aren't going to be exactly in alignment that we want them to be. So this is where your own spiritual self, this is allowing yourself to look at, where do I need to let go of so I can embrace the newness, embrace this new passion that's coming in. And as I'm doing that, the Two of Earth, the balance. It's all about the balance. All about the balance, the balance, the balance. So a lot can be going on at once. A lot of things can be going on. And you're like, oh, look at this and look at this and look at this. And this is where you have to come back into the stillness. You got to come back into the quiet. And coming back into the quiet is going to allow for you to understand or have some kind of inkling of what is opening up. What are those steps that are coming forward? And as we are stepping forward into this newness, as we're stepping forward, we'll know that we have to do things more playful, lovingly, more creative, and allowing for that creativity to come in and open up. It's hard work. It's hard work that we're doing. A lot of clearing up old patterns, old ways of doing what we've always done. So we're getting to the root of a lot of shit that no longer works. And it's a mind fuck, right? Because it's like, but we've always done that. We've always been that way. And it's like, oh no, we're opening up to new ideas, new spiritual ways of looking at things and integrating that into our lives. And it's a soulful practice, that's for damn sure. And it's an awakening for us all. And I think many of us are seeing that, awakening to it, and and also having a struggle with it at the same time. So having that balance. Sending you guys off so much love. If you're wanting to join me for the Divine Journey, let me know at thegubermama@gmail.com, or DM me if you want more information about the Divine Walk. And if you want a reading, get a hold of me, right? I'm still doing readings, people. So have a blessed one, and may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you do and all you be. Have a blessed day, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. See you later.